Welcome to Upturned Table, and this time we have an unearthing, something we haven't done in a while. So this is a book that was rescued from storage in America and a little piece of my childhood, so I thought I would share it with you. And it's appropriate because they're in the process of fulfilling the kind of resurrected version of this. Palladium has the rights again to print this book, and we'll see what they're going to do with it, and we'll talk a little bit about how it was definitely a product of its time. So I'm talking about, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness. So a lot of fans of Turtles, of the Turtles from their childhood, in the 90s especially, probably know them from the cartoons, the Saturday morning or afternoon cartoons, but they started very different. They started as a black and white self-published comic that was part of the late 80s self-publishing black and white comic boom. And that happened, it was kind of a combination of factors. I think the rise of comic book stores, like specialty comic book stores, didn't mean you had to be able to get your books into the big retailers or bookstores. And also printers. Printers were able to do short runs of like lower quality, cheaper comics, and I think similar to what they were already doing in Japan with the doujinshi tradition here of amateur comics. I think a lot of printing companies realized they could make money on short runs by individuals, and people were able to make a living at this. This was something that was a very viable, if you had the talent and you had an original idea and were able to commit to doing monthly books. Self-publishing was actually a thing. And some of the most notable, I think, Cerebus, we'll see in the comics, Cerebus, and so there's some very famous Love and Rockets, a lot of indie, really popular indie comics got their start about this time. So before we look at the RPG, let's take a little bit of a look at the origins of these characters. All right, so here's a few issues resurrected from the Turtles. So the oldest one I could find was issue 3. And if you don't know what American comic books look like, they're very thin. And this is a black and white, like self-published version. And, time has not been kind to it, but this will give you an idea about how things looked. I think 1 and 2, the covers were kind of monochromatic, or they were like black and white with a one color accent. And very quickly, because of the success, they were able to do color covers. So behold, black and white indie self-publishing glory of the late 80s. So this is 85 is what they're, I'm not sure what the printing is of this. This may be because they had to do several runs, but here are the original. This is the original Turtles art and how the comics looked. So they're black and white, but a lot of grayscale, like a lot of dot screening to give you some nice rendering. But, and of course, as you can't quite see from the black and white, something that was changed, obviously, when they started to try to market them and make them more of a kid's IP, is they changed the color of each of the characters' masks to distinguish them, which, of course, would be pointless in a black and white comic. Yeah, we're getting a look at original April and the Turtles. So, this is exactly what you got. And, of course, this is Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And they broke up after their huge success and basically selling the rights for television and movies and things away. They had creative differences in like 2000, I think, and so they stopped working together at that point. But both I think are contributing, or at least I know Peter Laird is doing art for this new version of the RPG. So that's what the books looked like back in the day, 80s black and white comics. So I'll just flip through a couple of these. So you can see they started already to get, and then here we go. Already we're doing kind of crossover work with other self-published popular characters. So Cerebus the Aardvark shows up, and we've got, the storyline continues. And it stuck with color covers for a while, and things got really, time travel-y and diverse right away. And then once they realized they were very popular and they needed to get more books out, they started Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So other artists kind of took their shot. Writers and artists took their shot at the characters. So Tales went on for a while. And then they even did micro series, one-issue micro series featuring each one of the characters in a kind of a one-shot, one-shot kind of spotlight. Of course, there was the authorized martial arts training manual, which you need for your Ninja Turtles. How to draw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right. And then the Mirage Studios, once they started supporting other artists or developing other artists, they started to do different compilations. So Prime Slime Tales from Mirage Studios. And then, of course, Archie Comics. So this is the maybe more recognizable TV version with the different colored masks. So Archie Comics started publishing the Adventures comics, which were based on the popularity of the cartoons. And more from Mirage Studios, so Gobbledygook and Turtle Soup. So here's the beginning of the story when they collected it in the first issues in graphic novel form, but they also colored them. So that's what these look like. And what kind of date are we looking at here? So this is 86. The issue 1 was published in 84, and already by 86 they're doing these color compilations. So here's the original art, and as you can see, the masks are all the same color. But it's nice, glossy stock paper. And so this was a real, kind of out of nowhere, maybe lightning in a bottle kind of fluke, a good combination of indie comics, an odd, catchy name, and people really, looking for something different, and instantly spawned a huge number of imitators. So there were all kinds of animals, mutated animals that, learned martial arts. So there's early Splinter. Yes, and his shame from what happened to his master. So the whole story. Yeah, and they really went crazy with it. But, superhero comics dominated from the big publishers. So this was really nice to see, kind of playful, original ideas. And, for some reason, they really, thought they could market this like hell to kids, which they could. I mean, I think a lot of people, there's some early Shredder and, look at these big spreads. Nice. Yeah, they did a nice job with the coloring, though. It doesn't look too digital or anything. It looks like it could just be, watercolor. Because it is mid 80s, so yeah, it's definitely not digital coloring yet. So nice and subtle. But yeah, so Kiss Your Butt Goodbye. That's what they looked like at the beginning. And because there was so much imitation, I think that made sense for them to, the theming of the tabletop RPG kind of made sense, because this spawned just a genre, basically, of mutant animals with, either sci-fi or martial arts genre settings. So let's take a look at the actual game itself. So unfortunately, this isn't the first printing, which has a little bit of a story of its own. But Palladium printed this in 85 and very quickly had to do a second edition. And why did they have to do a second edition? Because they had a category when you're creating your character, categories of mental illness. And they included things like homosexuality and pedophilia as mental illness, which I guess, in the 80s, the DSM-R, the resource of the medical, books for mental illness, that's kind of where the thinking was. So very quickly, they had to put stickers. There were white stickers that were put over those entries, those tables in the first printing. And I'm not sure if they, pulled them completely off the shelves, but then it got quickly to a second printing. So what we're looking at is the second printing minus the strange mental illness tables. But as you'll see, this is definitely a product of its time, and it will be really fun to see with their new version that's coming out almost 40 years later, what kind of changes they're going to make, if they're going to sanitize it or if they're just going to try to reproduce it in its original spirit with its alcoholism and drug use and everything. All right. So, I can barely read this at the top here. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really, so it's published almost black on black there. So let me give this a shot. A complete new game compatible with Heroes Unlimited. Contains dozens of mutations, martial arts, ninjutsu, special training, adventure scenarios, and more. Art by Eastman and Laird. Sorry, that is incredibly poor design. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness by Eric Wujcik. And of course, you'll get the beautiful, this is desktop publishing. So you get the beautiful layout that Palladium Books always brings you. All that gorgeous Helvetica. All right. Yeah. So see, this is the second printing. And we've got copyright 1985. And so this is everything in the second printing. And here's our credits page. Oh, interesting. And they even give some attention to Mirage Studios and saying those comics we were looking at were only $1.50 each at that time. Nice. And you can see this is an old copy. It's a bit yellowed on the edges. So let's take a look at our table of contents here. So how to play a role-playing game, a glossary of role-playing terms in the introduction, animal characters. So creating characters, step 1 is attributes, step 2 is animal type, step 3, cause of mutations, step 4, bio E points, and step 5, equipment and money. And then rounding out the characters, alignment, experience, insanity. That's where we get into trouble. Education and skills and equipment. And then the animal section. So psionics and description, animal powers, height and weight, animal description, alphabetical animal index, just in case you can't think of an animal. And then combat mechanics, resolving combat terms, damage table, saving throws, SDC table, combat in action, recovery from damage, weapons, ancient and modern. And then the Game Master section. Yeah, so that's good. We got about 76 pages before we get to the Game Master. So how to run it and designing your adventures. And then they give you some adventures. So Caesar's Wheel, the Terror Bears, Dr. Farrell, the Genius of Biospawn, Terror on Route number 5, The Leg of the Ninja, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, there we go. A little bit of origin of these characters and a play test. Yeah, so basically, I think using their Heroes Unlimited system. So let's take a look how they're setting this up for you. So the concept behind that of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is novel, but not new. Over the years, there have been animal characters in virtually every comic book ever created, from Cerebus the Aardvark through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, from Superdog through the cat in American Flag, Bugs Bunny through Howard the Duck. There's been a fascination with animals that mimic the human form and habit. And where would Tom Terrific be without Manfred the Wonder Dog? Oh yeah, so here they're talking about, it's a complete role-playing experience, but you can use TMNT to play anything from a quick tournament to a lifetime campaign, no matter how you use the game on its own, with Heroes Unlimited or with some other comic-style role-playing game. So they're emphasizing the the flexibility. There's random character generation, and the how to play a role-playing game. Okay, all caps, imagination. Remember that. That's the number one aspect. Oh, that's fun. So this is early days. This is mid 80s. So they're walking you through. Imagine the scene. Imagine the setting. Imagine the character. And then imagine the action. And here's our glossary. Attributes, campaign, character, death, dice, game master. Play a role-playing game. Roll a 20-sided. Roll percentile. Run. He runs an excellent campaign. Saving throw and scenario. So animal hero characters are the results of mutations or some other change that results in a normal animal becoming more intelligent, more human-like, or superpowered. So we've got our 8 attributes. Roll up IQ, ME, PS, PP, PE, PB, and speed. So 3 6-sided dice are used to determine. The higher the number, the greater the ability. Exceptional is 16 to 18, as you would expect. D20 back in the day. So IQ, intelligence quotient. ME, mental endurance. MA, mental affinity. So what is the difference? The amount of mental and emotional stress you can take, and affinity shows the character's personal charm and charisma. PS is physical strength. PP is physical power, so the degree of dexterity and agility. PE demonstrates the character's stamina and durability. It was easier when these were just called what they were. Physical beauty is the indication of physical attractiveness of the character. So a PB of 16 will be rewarded with a bonus to charm and impress. And then speed. So speed is times 20 is the number of yards that the character can run in a minute. And here's our attribute bonus table. Looking very familiar, D20 familiar, and especially if you played Palladium games. So hit points, life points, animal types, and you've got your animal hero characteristics. So first decide if you're urban, rural, wild birds is a separate category, and zoo. Second, determine the actual animal. Oh, I see. So they're trying to give you some idea of their habitat. And then as always, the GM and player, however you prefer the animal types, may be chosen. We recommend random determination. And just to do that, we have these D100 tables. So urban animals, looks like domestic animals. Rural is farm. Wild is looking like woodland creatures. Wild again. Yeah. Oh, wild birds. Yeah. Oh, I guess they wanted to separate it so that it wasn't, you could kind of decide which way to go. And then, of course, zoo animals, so the more exotic. But they can still, show up in New York. And then step 3 is the cause of mutation. So random mutation, accidental encounter, deliberate experimentation. So you were adopted and raised in the home of a researcher, raised in the home of a researcher as a pet, brought up as an experiment, raised in a cage as an experimental animal, educated and trained, rescued from the organization, and adopted by a friendly researcher. Highly trained and educated. Highly trained as a specialist. Nice. Oh yeah, your money keeps going up. And the last one, these characters have deliberately been raised as assassins or warriors. You got a lot of high school. You got a lot of military. And here's the organizations responsible. The wild animal education chart. Wow. Yeah, so a lot of randomness, and I think that's, the other strangeness is what they're really leaning into, because you're going to come up with a very unusual character based on all of this. Then bio-E points, special ability. So biological energy points. So characters created from animals go through some kind of biological transformation. In the fantasy world of comic books, that usually means a change into something intelligent and more human in shape. All right, so bio-E points are included. So what are we calling them? So in order to balance out the biological change to the animal characters, we've invented bio-E points. Each kind of animal has a particular amount of bioenergy that reflects exactly how much it can change. Bio-E does not directly reflect the size or the power of the animal. In fact, it's just the opposite. The more powerful the original animal, the fewer bio-E points you will have. Exact number of points is included in the animal's description. And you can use bio-E points on any of the following: special abilities, growth steps, human attributes, and psionics. So growth steps, transmutation into intelligence will probably change your size as well. The size of the animal is measured in growth steps. So an example, assume you rolled a size 1 creature, a mouse. Playing a creature that's small may have disadvantages, especially penalties. So -8 in IQ and 12 in PS and 4 in PE. Fortunately, you can change your character's growth level. So spending 25 points of bio-E and your character can be raised to level 6. At level 6, you have no penalties whatsoever. And of course, you continue to spend, get larger, and gain even attribute bonuses until you take it. So it takes 5 points of bio-E for 1 level increase. And so here's kind of their physical growth chart. the bigger you want to get. Human attributes, speech. So just ignore speech and go with a grunting, growling character. Upright bipedal, human looks. So here's your steps towards full human from original form. And then psionics. You must have a minimum ME of 12. And then team characters. So in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, players, they haven't abbreviated it yet. I think that TMNT became very standard. Not yet. Players can choose to roll up their characters as a team, and maybe they paid for the license, so they're going to use every damn word of that title. So there's no limit to the number of players that can join the group. The main disadvantage of team characters is that the players lose some of the flexibility and diversity that comes from mixed heroes, a mixed group of heroes. And then equipment and money. Yeah, depending on your background, you had quite a bit of money. So rounding out your character, alignment, experience, insanity, etc. So here we go with the alignment. So basically good, selfish instead of neutral, and then evil. Heroes, anti-heroes, vigilantes. No, there are no neutral alignments. There's no such thing as an absolute or neutral alignment. An absolute true neutral person could not make a decision, fight crime, go adventuring, kill, or take an action of any kind without leaning toward good, evil, or self-gratification. So here's the good alignments and kind of what the character will do. Scrupulous good. A scrupulous character will. An unprincipled, selfish character will. An anarchist, selfish. And then evil, miscreant, aberrant, and diabolical. So I guess, yeah, they have. So selfish is unprincipled and anarchist. And then the good alignments are principled and scrupulous. So under evil, the miscreant, the aberrant, and the diabolical, and then criminals and villains. Then experience points. So character experience. Of course, yeah. And here's your standard huge amount of experience for animals. So performing a skill, 25 points. Being clever but not futile idea, a clever but useful action. Wow. So yeah, you're killing or subduing a minor menace. And then here's the part where I think we've had some editing done. It looks like the spacing was a little different here. Like they took some things out and now have a little more room. But yeah, insanity. So in the context of this game, we assume that all heroes are mentally and emotionally sound. Any insanities developed from this point on will be the result of trauma, especially physical damage to the head and or brain. So trauma, drug-induced trauma, witnessing experience, shocking, grotesque atrocities, terrible, frightening, brushes with death, witnessing something, accidental of several innocent people's deaths. Nice. And so here, yeah, their random insanity table now is just affective disorders, neuroses, phobias, and psychosis, which they give you tables, yeah, which are a little bit easier: frightened, disgusted, outraged, hated, intimidated, and then fears: fear of the dark, fear of animals, cannot tell the truth. Oh, no, there's still a little bit in here. So under neuroses, okay, so I guess they took up pedophilia. No, they did not. Wow. Okay, so this is a second printing, and I read that the first printing had eliminated this, but yeah, the second printing. So is this where the white sticker went? Interesting. So yeah, this was where the criticism, and I think parents especially, because there's, funny animals on the cover. So kids might be more younger kids, because I was only, what was it, 85? So yeah, like 13. So not super young. But yeah, neuroses, fear of the dark, fear of animals, cannot tell the truth, and then sexual deviation. I guess I call it deviation instead of mental illness. I don't know. I don't know if this helps. Homosexuality, fetishism, pedophilia, transvestitism. Yeah, this is very 80s. Exhibitionism, sadism, masochism, necrophilia, anti-sex, and satyr or nymphomania, and then voyeurism. Yeah, so you're rolling your turtle as one of these is going to be interesting. Yes, and then of course, psychoses, paranoia, manic, depressive, schizophrenia. Yeah, so they just played kind of fast and loose with mental illness, and that's, not something that is going to go over well these days. But this is in, 80s terms of things. So, and then all of the phobias, cures for insanity, cures for psychosis. Yeah, let's not go there, 80s. And then, effects of alcoholism, total drunk, staggering drunk, effects of drug addiction. Yeah, so you can have a drug addicted gopher. Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. And then, their list of the education skills that you can have from your background. The arts. Oh, what do we have here? Hey, this is what Unearthing is all about. So, is there a character sheet? Well, this is a piece of notebook paper with the characters written on it. So let's see. Wow. I have an anarchist river otter with $60,000. That's pretty good money in 80s money. And it looks like this got played. There's some hash marks. Something was going on. Yeah. I was losing hit points at some point. But I did have ice skating, which is, I guess, useful for a river otter. This is funny. Oh, wow. Look at all this frantically scribbled skills on the back. Wow. That's great. I wish I had a little bit more of the materials. So I was surprised. I think, just as a autobiographical note here, I don't think I had access to a copier, a Xerox, back in the day, because I have a lot of notebook paper that is my character sheets, and I don't have anything copied from books. So we'll take a look at this, and once we get to the end of the character section. So as you can see, infinite skills, physical training and skills, medical skills, hand-to-hand combat skills, and then your bonuses per level, the martial arts, ninjutsu, and then equipment to buy with that $60,000. Yeah, so detailed, and prices, price breakdowns for everything. Oh, I could afford a van. That's pretty good. Clothing, miscellaneous, and then weapons. Oh, no, this is actually still more equipment. Yeah, car openers, making keys, lock files, additional weapons, black market prices, the animal section. So here's the description of, if you're buying psionics or other things. So inner strength points. Animals differ from other psionic players in that they don't spend inner strength points to use powers. Each power can be used as often as the character likes, although no more than the number of attacks per melee. No animal psionic can use more than one power at a time. For example, a character using animal control for the full 5 minutes cannot use telepathic transmission at the same time. Keep that in mind. So here's your list of psionic powers. And then animal powers, which looks like a lot of claws and antlers and digging and tunneling. There he is. Right there. Yeah, extra limbs, flight, glide, and then enhanced visions, hold breath, teeth and tusks. Notes on animal description. So this is devoted to describing unmutated form of the animals, and then the mutant changes and costs. So here's what size means, and you can roll that up. So you have height, weight, short, medium, and long. There we go. Some great illustrations. Yeah, this is really, really excellent. This is, something that because I was a fan of the comics, this is obviously something that made me pick up the game because some really nice spot illustrations. And then animal descriptions. So it gives you the size level of the animal you're choosing, where your attribute bonuses go, and how many, you get 5 points for your hands. So, what everything costs to get you full or partially on the way to human. So we got aardvark, alligator, ape, armadillo, baboon, badger, bat, beaver, bear. And then the birds category, ducks, birds, turkeys, wild predatory birds, owls, wild birds, birds, crow, sparrow, wild fowl, pet birds, more birds, parrot, pigeon. Look at the whole, they could make a supplement of just birds. Then chicken, boar, buffalo, camel, canines, wild, canine fox. Oh, look at that. That's a great piece of art. Inspired you to go completely canine. All right. And cows and bulls, deer, elephant, elk, felines, and then cheetah, mountain lion, domestic cats, frog, goat, hippopotamus, horse. Yeah, you have to spend a lot of points to get human size. For a lot of these guys, mole, monkey, moose, muskrat, possum. Look at that badass possum. These are great. Great illustrations. Otter, pig, rabbit. Look at that porcupine. Raccoon, rhinoceros, rodent. Hey, they just grabbed that one. Yeah, even the art was from 85. So I think this was done for the book. Yeah, because everything is being shown as 85. And there's some art from the comic. Getting the goo in the sewer there. Look at this guy. An eye patch and everything. The Nick Fury of the marmoset, whatever this thing is. Squirrel, weasel, Wolverine. Yeah, maybe that's a Wolverine. Yeah, and here's the index of everything that I just read. So yeah, and then they spec out everything, and I'm sure we're going to get some more of that. And here we go. Some pages. I think maybe original pages for this book, because I think I remember that being exciting, that there were comics done in the book that I hadn't seen before. Wow, yeah, they're really padding it out. Maybe trying to give you some flavor. And look at all the heroes. A short story. And then here's the combat. All right, so we just finished the character section. Let's take a quick look and see what my anarchist river otter private industries. So I got him up to size level 8. His build is long. I spent all my bio points. He's full bipedal. His full hands, full speech. Upsize 4 levels, and he can hold his breath because he's of course an otter. So, and his PS is pretty good, and everything else is kind of middle of the road. But he's got athletics, acrobatics, bodybuilding, of course. This is going to be a swole river otter. Gymnastics, hockey. I think they give you, I didn't level any of this up, but this is all the stuff that river otters, I guess river otters are just Canadians, basically. Competitive swimming, first aid. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have levels in any of this stuff, just athletics, acrobatics, bodybuilding, climbing, and a little bit of gymnast. And what is this on the back? This paper is actually in better condition than the paper in the book. Imitate voices, sleight of hand. Oh, maybe skills, escape artist, fencing. Still photography. Well, that's good. Law, cryptography, fine arts. So I guess I went through and picked some additional skills to flesh this anarchist out. It was a pretty anarchy-filled character. So roll with punch +2. Look at that. But I took some sort of beating. I think I remember after school trying this out. I wish I had my friends... what he was running, what I was running this character in. I think it was just, I don't think we ever had a group playing this, but I think this is a character kind of taking some sort of beating. I had a lot of hit point damage. That's fun to find that in there. So yeah, we'll continue with the combat rules and some more spot art from the comics. Yeah, these are definitely from the first 3 or 4 issues of the comics. So combat, resolving step by step, initiative, strikes, defend, parry, attacker roll, defender roll. I'm sure your typical Palladium D20 action. Yeah, none of this looks original. This is all stuff taken from the comics. Yeah, I think anything that has a big signature on it was done specifically for this book. But here's your damage for your fist and your blackjack and your collision and your falling and your thrown objects. Nice. Paired weapons, of course, because you got to have 2 nunchucks at 2 sides. Ranged attacks. And then here's all your SDC. Not that the SDC with the... I'm sure there is structural damage capacity. So the wear and tear on various things, to break a lock or whatever. Yeah, how much structural damage you're going to have to do. And of course, all good systems have an example of players. This is done in a screenplay format. All the characters' names. What everybody does. So example of combat, recovery from damage, weapons in combat. So what your proficiencies do. More comic art from the comics. And here's all your levels and tables for each weapon proficiency. Nice, a little bit of, looks like clip art. I don't see any attributions. But somebody may recognize this art from another Palladium book. Nice. Yep, all your ninja equipment. There we go. And then modern weapons. Yeah, because things get pretty modern and then sci-fi pretty fast. I think we'll see that in some of the expansions, though. More level tables, all your firearms. Those are nice illustrations, very nostalgic 80s line art. And then the Game Master section. So not much for the Game Masters, but because we needed all those tables and all those skills and animals spelled out. So how to run a role-playing game. So this is 85, remember. The major objective of any game master is to provide a good role-playing experience for the players. In other words, it's up to the game master to see that everyone has fun. Game masters who ignore this simple principle tend not to remain game masters very long. So how do you run an enjoyable game? First, you've got to select and, if necessary, modify an adventure. This can be a scenario from this book or something you design yourself. Important thing is that it matches the characters who will be running in it. Ask yourself, will the characters have a difficult time? Will the players have a chance to use their individual abilities? And do the objectives of the scenario match those of your characters? And then character roll up. So if you're going to do some quick creation, and then an example of 3 players, Frank, Bob, and Ted, rolling up characters. I see. So this is the script for creating those characters. Adventures of Dice and Destiny. Oh, here we go. Dice are the major tools of the Game Master. Like any tools, they should be used only when circumstances demand it. Dice should not be used to slow down the game or a substitute for logical decisions. Use dice for the following: NPCs, combat, damage, and death. And then adventures. I've got a random table for alignment. All this optional stuff. Villain objectives. Oh, that's nice. Give you some quick villain development, your organizations and funding. Creating natural disasters, creating tension, infinite budget. As a game master, you have the power that Hollywood producers can only dream of. Unlimited sets anywhere in the earth and beyond. Nice. Creating tension, there is an old saying that no spice can make food taste as good as hunger. So in the role-playing game, there's nothing that creates excitement so much as real danger. And of course, they gotta talk about their Heroes Unlimited game system. So yeah, TMNT is a game designed to be used independently of all other materials. However, the game masters may want to consider getting Heroes Unlimited. This book contains everything you need for humans, robots, bionics, alien characters, and more villain stuff. And then using turtles as a separate campaign. Using turtles in a Heroes Unlimited campaign. And then here's our adventures. Oh, so he was designed for the adventure. Maybe Caesar's weasels. our crazy Nick Fury Wolverine. Yeah, there's another nice piece of art for the book. And the Terror Bears, there they are. A Care Bear parody, because Care Bears were a thing. All right, so here's the characters: Pain Bear, Fear Bear, Doom Bear, and Nightmare Bear. All right, and all of them are specced out. Dr. Farrell, the genius of Biospawn, there he is. Wow, this is nice art. And I think because I was a sucker at that time, it was definitely the art that made me pick this up, and not hopes that we would ever play it. All right, so specking out all the characters, a little more art from the comics. But you can see I really love the this kind of gritty, chunky style, and so for turtles that were dressed as mutated into ninjas, this was really fun as a teenager. I thought that was just the best. Terror on Rural Route 5. There's some great, they did some great art for this book. I hope all of this is, recreated in the revised or the new edition. The Leg of the Ninja. So give you a good variety of kind of basic, nothing that goes too far outside. Oh, and then they statted out the actual turtles. So Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo. Nice. Yeah, it looks like new. Yeah, it looks like new art for each of them too. That's great. So if you just want to play the turtles, you can play the turtles. I think every IP game kind of has to do that. You need stats for Conan, and you need stats for Captain America, all that good stuff. And here is the, I think this is just the reproduction of the origin section of the first issue of the comic. So they reproduced the origin comic here. Nice. Oh, and they statted out April's got her stats. Look at that awesome perm April has. Or not. I don't know whether Jerry curl, I guess, maybe. Might even be a Jerry curl. Excellent. Casey Jones. Nice. Yeah, they did some, that's the scientist guy, Baxter, right? Yeah, Baxter Stockman. That's who that is. With those horrible mechanical birds. Yeah, Casey Jones, the Foot Clan, and Shredder. All right, Shredder's got an MA of 20 and a PS of 19, a PP of 24. Good luck, boys. Oh, great. The TCRI aliens, the Sparrow Eagles, and that looks like Kang. Chirpyenko. There we go. Wait, did I miss Kang earlier? Nope. That's just Shredder. Oh, so maybe this was Kang a thing? I can't remember in the comics because the animation's kind of overwritten a lot of stuff. Was Kang just a tiny little side character, and then they kind of played him up for the cartoon? Maybe. Yeah, because there's no Bebop and Rocksteady and all that stuff. So I think that's all cartoon created stuff. Or maybe that started in, the kind of expanded adventures once they got past their first 5 or 10 issues. All right. Yep. So everything else. And so no index or anything. You got a table of contents, but a nice piece of color art on the back. Look at that. $9.95. So think about how far that $60,000 goes for your character. So that is it. And it had the strange tables of neuroses in there still. So, I don't know. Maybe that only happened, maybe there was certain states or certain areas, maybe the Midwest or whatever. I don't know, where they recalled the books or requested that shops put stickers, but this did say second printing. Yeah, it's definitely a second printing, and that made it in there. Could it have been even worse in the first printing? Maybe some description was a little too graphic. All right, so that is the core original book. Look at that in all of its Helvetica beautifulness. And so let's take a look at the few supplements that there were quite a few. I think there were 6 or 8. So this is the first 3. So let's take a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures. So I imagine, like they included in the back of here, these are just more adventures with statted out characters and sharks. And also compatible with Heroes Unlimited. They got to get that in. Yeah, so a supplement for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other Strangeness. Yeah, so pretty thin. Yeah, so this is 86. So these kind of came out right after they kept supporting things. So what do we got? So the adventures presented in this book are designed specifically with the turtles in mind. However, they are written to allow maximum flexibility. This means you can run them as turtles or some other mutant animals or superheroes. So Doomsday Bears, some more bears, Mr. Bionic, Reverend Judge, Mouse Monster Menace. Oh yeah, the mouse, yeah. Optional rules for superpowered animals, New York Ninjas, and then the White Ronin. So some more multi-adventure optional characters and stuff. So there's the turtles again. So yeah, Doomsday Bears, depending on the skill and ability of your player characters, this adventure can range from moderate to difficult. So those Tear Bears are back. Oh, more Tear Bear art. Somebody loved this idea. Because those Care Bears, they need to be put in their place there. Mr. Bionic, we saw him before. So another, yeah, he's dated 86. So yeah, this is for this book. So Bionics are added. Is April getting out of a limousine? All right. So the Reverend Judge adventure, the Mouse Monster Menace. Some more Dr. Farrell. So it looks like these are kind of continuations of some of those original adventures because Dr. Farrell's back. The Doom Bears are back. Yeah, so same characters. So maybe if you liked one of those adventures, they give you a chance to continue. More statted out NPCs. More. So here's optional animal superpowers, robotics, bionics, other experiments, superpowers. Oh yeah, so they're getting into literally like superhero powers instead of just training, shrink, supersonic, sonic powers, speed, stretching. Yeah, so more superhero. And here's New York Ninja, starring Donatello. I wonder if this is just from the Donatello one shot. I don't recognize the art, but that's nice that they include comics pages in here. It's definitely, if you weren't reading the comic, it's definitely going to make you want to read the comic. I just like, a funny animal comic that's gritty. The presentation is gritty and fun. That was just like, very appealing at the time. So White Ronin and a phone number, just in case you want to call her. I don't know what this is, a phone number. The White Ronin. So player background, player character options. Oh, so this is by far the most difficult and challenging of the adventures. So kind of your climactic battle and lots of NPCs. And looks like we're going to Japan. Yeah, looks like we are. Wow. Oh yeah, so and we saw that list of death traps. So you're in a castle full of traps that looks like good luck. Yeah. And they've got some before box text, before the desktop publishing magic of box text. Some little quote paragraphs to read before each of the death traps. Nice. And more of their ninja clip art. Cool, but yeah, we got some original art for the book. Get the characters fleshed out, and then hopefully here's the happy ending. The end of the castle, and Larry Kim, who is unarmed. Yeah, that's cool. So so $6.95 for just the supplement, but as you can see, it's not much. It was just those few adventures. But $6.95 to continue. And next one that came out, we'll see if this is 87 or if this is still 86, After the Bomb. So another supplement and looking pretty sci-fi. And we've got a map. It looks like we're in New England here on the East Coast. All right. So After the Bomb, Peter Laird illustrating. Yeah, 86 still. And some great original art. So welcome to the first adventure supplement. Oh, so what was that other one? That was the second? That looked like a direct continuation. So this is maybe first new. The core of this book was a scenario called, you guessed it, After the Bomb. Oh, I guess so. This, specifically, and one adventure. So creating a character, and it gives you new options. Because I guess it looks like you're going to be, let's look at the table of contents. So adapting turtles to After the Bomb, mutant backgrounds. So maybe a little post-apocalyptic. And here's your Empire of Humanity, the new kennel. Yeah, you're kind of like wasteland warriors here, right? Plains of the Free Cattle, the Rodent Cartel of Philly, Nyack. That's going to be just a bunch of New Jersey and New York State jokes. Bird Island and other areas, Gun Bunnies and Zombies, A Journey to Boartown, Clem's Big Adventure, Aerial Supremacy, Power of Ali Khomeini. Oh boy, yeah. Let's not remember the hostage situation, the rodent plague, and then encounter tables for all your wilderness. Yeah, so you'll probably need to create a character that'll work better here. So let's see. After the Bomb was originally intended as an adventure chapter in the game. Then we just got carried away with all the possibilities of the world filled with mutant animals. Finally, we decided After the Bomb deserved its own book. We hope you like it. Yeah, so it looks like we're setting up factions and kind of the world after. But a lot of nice new art for it. I hope they paid him well, because he was probably doing pretty good from taking him away. That's why they started Tales of the Turtles, because they were taking him away to do illustration for game books. Nice rat. Oh, the gun bunnies. We're going to see a gun bunny. Oh, yeah, there they go. The gun bunnies. Nice. The dirty dozen of rodents. Yeah, it definitely looks very, very Dirty Dozen like. Yeah, this is great. This is great art. And this is definitely what got me. There we go. Clem's Big Adventure and a giant rhinoceros beetle. There we go. We can do some giant radioactive ants. Yeah, I think that's where. And then all the vehicles and a bunch of NPCs. Usub, the mutant alligator. These are great. Yeah, just really, really great art. I mean, his style is just perfect for this kind of thing, because it's not too. I wonder who that's a reference to. Nice. So a combination of, because we already had 83, right? Was Return of the Jedi. So we had Jabba the Hutt already in pop culture. We had the hostage situation in the early 80s. Mash that all together and come up with a Persian cat with a hookah. The rodent plague. Great art. Yeah, this is so cool. Rodney. Smugglers. Oh, nice. There we go. And then here's the encounter tables for where you're stuck in. Oh yeah, there's that guy. There's his art, the line art from the cover. Yeah, so all the different areas, what shows up, if they're motorized or flying. Oh, nice. Look at that. A world of savagery and super science. That's great. Or Thunderdome, right? Bartertown. Excellent. All right. Yeah. So they went all in. Oh, let's take a look. They went all in on kind of post-apocalypse. Yeah. So already they're trying to expand the turtles into various places. Great wraparound cover art. And here's the last one we'll take a look at. The Turtles Guide to the Universe. So I think we're doing maybe alternate dimensions, time travel, space. Oh, yeah. little water damage, a little speckly there. Yeah, but still, the paper is not great quality. It feels like heavy duty, like coloring book paper, but it hasn't yellowed too badly. I think maybe the comics got it a little worse. I think the acid level in the comic book paper is pretty bad. But yeah, they're pretty rough, but still they reproduce the black and white art well. All right, so here's the guide that came out. Look at that. So this is 87. All right. So what are they trying to do here? Oh yeah, they're giving you more. Guide to the Universe. Yeah, so maybe getting you a little more sci-fi, because the contents here are vehicle creation, aircraft, speed, armor, equipment, air and space skills, air and space combat, the Guide to the Universe, adventure scenarios, Tigers of Tibet, the Mutant Mastering Mind Machine. Dr. Farrell's back. Day of the Transmat and Invasion of the Triceratons. Are they in the front? I thought we saw Triceratons somewhere. Oh, those look like Triceratons to me. Nice. A comic strip. Oh, yeah. Oh, to the Terror of Transmat is a comic strip. There we go. All right, so here's your tables for cost and structural capacity of vehicles and speeds. And then some rules for maneuvering and arming and character air vehicle expenses. Looks expensive. Michelangelo says, whoa. All right, air and space combat. Yeah, all of your, and then examples. Damage and crash rules. Outer space combat. Oh, they got right into it. So zero gravity. Vacuum, translate, travel, and contemporary guide. Mutants and you. Yeah, so we're getting aliens and robots and cyborgs involved. Yeah, the TCRA alien auto defense bots. Yeah, there's the Triceratons. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think they got to this kind of a storyline pretty fast. It got pretty sci-fi and crazy. Those are great. And probably they just wanted to keep doing the character design. I wonder if the animation ever covered this stuff, or if it stuck with the Kang and Bebop and Rocksteady and Shredder. Nice. Yeah, so here's all the stats for the typical Triceraton shock commando. Their drop ships, transports. Oh, this is great. And I can see why I had to get this as well. Put them in space. So different tribes, the Spiny Empire, the Katrib tribe, the Goli territory. Are those Golis? There they are. That was some low-cost art they got right there. Nice. I wonder if this came from issues of the comic, like later issues. So, Havlish, Old Oid Builders, Vorons, Universal Survivors, Armor. Nice. Yeah, I think some of these aren't Peter Laird, or they're real quick ones. Yeah. Somebody might have subcontracted some art out, or just did some quick stuff. Some quick doodles. And then encounters and events. That can happen. Did we get into an adventure already, or no? Oh, yeah, no, we did. Yeah, this is the Tigers of Tibet adventure. So all the player background to play, I get a selected organization. Oh, are we already in? No, we're still in the... Oh, it's right. It's Tibet. That's why I was wondering why. We were in Asia. Hey, there we go. The Mutant Mastering Mind Machine. Look at that. Yeah, he got some good art in still. There he is. Dr. Farrell is back. Did you miss him? Invasion of the Triceratons. And we'll see some comics here at the end. Oh, that might be where all the art came from, is this comic. Yeah, it doesn't say. It doesn't date when this was done, so I don't know if this was done for the book, if these were characters or like a species they added for the book or not. Oh, but I do remember this character from the comics, so yeah, I think that was... Nice. Yeah, King doesn't... Oh, there he is finally. Yeah, there he is in a robot body. Yeah, so it looks like introduction of these characters. Yeah, I wonder if this was done for the book or if they already had this. Yeah, so a little damaged. This book is not probably in the least best condition of everything. And this might have been even something that expanded in Tales. Boom. Yeah. So just, these are kind of thin expansions, give you some adventures and some new options. And I think it got like Old West. I mean, I think the list of expansions was quite funny. So this is just the first 3 expansions. And after that, Mutants Down Under in 88, Transdimensional Turtles in 89, Roadhogs in 89, Truckin' Turtles in 89, Turtles Go Hollywood in 90, Mutants in Avalon 91, and Mutants in Orbit 92. I think you can tell, like, easily lost enthusiasm for what they were doing here, because the sci-fi stuff and the post-apocalyptic stuff I think are the best. And I think they're reissuing this with the new release. I think this is one of the books, because this is great. So that is the Palladium original version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness. So this is 85. And yeah, I don't know if they fixed what they needed to fix in second edition. That was an interesting discovery, because they listed all the same things that they said were removed. They didn't need that neuroses table at all, I don't think. But when the new one comes, I'll be sure to unbox that. And this was kind of just a nostalgia trip and taking a look at the original books that I played with the original notebook paper character sheet. So I guess there was and maybe Palladium is kind of more famous for that. There isn't a character sheet in the back of the book. So yeah, you're doing it all on notebook paper, because there isn't anything, that you have permission to photocopy. And there was no website in 85. So thank you for joining me. And this is a nice chance to take a look at some old stuff. There's much more to come. I've got some other old RPGs, as well as metal miniatures and stuff that I'd like to share with you. So Unearthings have returned, and the first of those has been the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I hope, if your only experience of these characters is the 90s animation and things where they were much more, kind of play school kiddie type properties, that you can see what was appealing about them for teenagers in the 80s, because they were, a lot more gritty and a lot more just kind of a fun, martial arts movie, kind of funny animal, but mutant. So there's a little X-Men flavor in there. There's a lot of appeal to what was going on. So I left the US still, liking these comics, went away for a year, was a homestay in Sweden, came back, and the cartoon was on television. So maybe Saturday morning or afternoons, whenever it was on. So that was really shocking to see in 1 year how what I thought this little self-published underground treasure that I had found and loved had become this like gigantic kids property. And then very shortly there was, the live action movies and things. So that really blew me away, how this just, somebody chose this, and then this just exploded. And I'm sure the creative differences that the creators, that Eastman and Laird had in the past were probably from that, we could make a lot of money doing this, or we could stick to kind of our original ideas and our original look and feel. And, so it's interesting, and it's a funny example of how, the corporate kiddie programming can just take stuff and run with it. But thank you so much for sharing this look through with me, and I hope it was interesting and you saw some stuff you hadn't seen before. And okay, I know you want to see it, so I will open it. How to Draw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right, I think this was actually an unofficial cash-in. I can't remember because they're crediting it. So this is being credited. This is Eastman and Laird's Turtles, but Solson Publications, there's no Mirage Studios. There's no First Comics, I think, published their graphic novels. So this may have been a weird cash-in trying to take advantage of the popularity, and it's more expensive than the comics were themselves. Okay, so a little bonus. Let's take a quick flip through here. Oh, yes, here we go. A Star Search. They're looking for some comics. Oh, no. Okay, there is, yeah. Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, yeah, so they are doing it. This is their drawing style. Additional art and editing. Okay, well, let's see. So here's some character sheets. Some model sheets for Michelangelo, Donatello, and advertising for Solson Comics Publications. Leonardo, Raphael, construction of the head. Yeah, so I guess they did ask them to kind of put together how do you draw turtle expressions. Turtle teeth. Yeah, they do have teeth. Yeah, it's a little bit useful. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Yeah, they're giving you some nice examples of kind of 360 and all kinds of models and how the hands, the two-fingered hands are structured. That's funny. Yeah, this looks like more of a weird cash-in though, because it doesn't look like somebody paid them to do that. Oh, there you go, though. That's nice. Nice little pin-up in the middle. Yeah, by Peter Laird. That's great. Wow. So what else do we have? Oh, we got panel structuring and stuff. That's good. Yeah, so maybe they are sharing a little bit. Solson's got to get some ads in. You want to direct market? Yeah, so they're giving you some roughs from some of their, yeah. Oh, yeah, number 6. Yeah, so already the Triceratons were in number 6, so I think they were pretty sci-fi by then. 2 unpublished pinups by Eastman. Nice. Another technique with the background. Some more layouts. More advertising. Yeah, it gives you a little bit. Okay, well, this wasn't as fun as I was hoping. Oh, more unpublished stuff. That's a fun sketch. A very Punisher-looking sketch. Nice. The finished drawing. Unpublished Leonardo. The end. Yeah, well, yeah, this was odd. I mean, I guess I would buy just about anything that had the turtles on it back in the 80s. So we won't even get into the guide to martial arts. But yeah, I thought this would be a fun thing to take a quick look at because I couldn't remember what this was. It's a cheap cash-in. Okay, well, we'll see. Yeah, you'll see a lot of that with success in the 80s. All right. So thanks again, and I hope that was fun to see a nice yellowed black and white comic telling you how to draw turtles. So we'll be back again soon with some more 80s nostalgia, some more retro RPG love. So see you next time. Goodbye.